Welcome to Snake Cinema Reviews. I'm your host, Prince Elias, and it is now, well, by the time you see this video, it's probably 2021, end of the year, wrap up. I've already uploaded my top 10 movies of 2020, but this video is going to be the honorable mentions. I want to say maybe 15 or 16 videos that did not quite make the year-end list. And these videos, these movies were great. They were amazing, but you know, they just could not crack that top 10 spot for me. It was just a lot more better movies. So let's get it started. And this is really in no particular order for the honorable mentions. What I'm going to say first may not be over what I say last. It's just my honorable mentions. So the first one, which I guess you could say number 11, is Rainey's Black Bottom on Netflix, starring Viola Davis and Chadwick Boseman in his last live action appearance before he untimely passed away. And this film, amazing, beautiful, wonderful. The acting, the cinematography, everything, the storytelling. I learned so much more about Rainey than I did ever. And honestly, I never heard of this artist until, because I'm not a blues, you know, listener. And so I didn't know about the history of Rainey and her legacy. And because of this film and because of how well Viola Davis played the main character, I decided to go. I did some further research after watching the film on who this incredible, wonderful, smart, unapologetically her artist, black woman, you know. And so Rainey's Black Bottom is an amazing film. It's on Netflix. I highly recommend it. All right, the next one is Host. Host is on Shudder. Shudder is kind of like the Netflix, but catered to horror and thrillers, and it's super affordable, super cheap. I think it's like $4.99 or $5.99 a month, cheaper than all the other streaming services, and it's strictly horror and thrillers. It's suspenseful movies. And Host was a new one that happened, that was filmed, shot, edited, and released during the pandemic, during the lockdown when everybody had to stay home. And so of course people had their cell phones, the actors had to use their cell phones, their laptops. He even had the actors do their own stunts and effects, you know, in order for a chair to move or for someone to get knocked upside the head by a ghost and stuff like that. So it was really, the behind the scenes story of it was fascinating in itself. But when you watch the film itself, it was just fun. It was a fun ride, a great horror film. And I enjoyed it. It was one of the best horror films, in my opinion, besides The Invisible Man. But I really enjoyed this one even more. And it was literally, it barely cracked 60 minutes. It was like 52, 53 minutes of runtime. So it got in and out quick. It wasn't no drag, no dead space, no slowing down from the time it started to the time for the last screen. It's just boom, 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 boom. And you know, some people don't like found footage films. Some people don't like, you know, films that are catered to just the laptop. But I really like the concept. I feel like as long as you do it well and you have a good story and great acting, you can pull it off. And they definitely did with this film. So Host on Shudder. And if you like horror films, the classics, the moderns, whatever, get a Shudder subscription. Like I said, it's like $4.99, $5.99. I can't remember, but it's so cheap that I can't remember. Because I have a recurring bill, so it comes out every month, but it's so cheap that I don't miss it. It doesn't put a dent in my pocket. So I really enjoy the content. They even have horror documentaries where you go behind the scenes of a lot of your favorite horror films and classics, and it's just amazing. Shudder is really a great streaming service if you like that genre in films. So Host will be my number 12 pick. Number 13, Boys in the Band. Boys in the Band. It's been a lot of play adaptations coming out in 2020. You know, the Hamiltons and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom and a slew of others. A lot of adaptation of plays have been put on film, and Boys in the Band is one of them, and I fairly enjoy it. It's a mostly gay male cast, gay or bisexual, you know, queer male cast. I believe it was directed or at least produced by dang, I'm sorry, mine went blank. Ryan Murphy, yes, the great Ryan Murphy for Glee and American Horror Story and all that jazz. And he also did the next film. He also produced and directed the next film that I'm about to name. But Boys in the Band, amazing. All the actors, they did their thing. It was compelling. It was funny. The jokes hit. It was just a good, and I never seen the stage play, so I don't know what the stage play about, but I want to see it now that I watched the film. I want to see how it is live, you know, with you know, people on the stage, because it's just good. It was amazing. And I believe that the screenwriter, the man who wrote the play itself, you know, he was very involved in this film before he passed away. He was very involved. They even had a behind the scenes documentary, like a 15-minute documentary after the film, showing, you know, the behind the scenes. And he was heavily involved, and he was a great writer. The fact that he wrote this play, it was amazing. He was great, and I'm glad he got to see his work unfold, not only on stage but on the big screen. Well, if Netflix, you know, TV screen, before he passed. But it was a great body of work, great art piece, and I highly recommend it. Boys in the Band, beautiful film. The next one, also produced and maybe directed by Ryan Murphy. Ryan Murphy really giving people work. Whether you're queer, you're black, you're trans, it doesn't matter. Ryan Murphy is giving opportunities to people who probably would have never, Hollywood probably would have never given the time of day. And, you know, he's hired, and not only just in front of the screen, but behind the screen. He's hiring great writers and directors and collaborators and camera operators and everything. So shout out to Ryan Murphy. He's a GOAT. And this next one is Prom. Prom, maybe it's based off a play, I don't know, but it felt like it. But either way, it's funny, hilarious. It's a musical, and it's on Netflix as well. And it was fun. It kind of took me back to my childhood. You know, you watching your High School Musicals or your Glee and all this. It just kind of took me back. Very nostalgic in a way, even though it wasn't that long. And it was just good. The acting was good. The cast were amazing. It was amazing. It was funny. I laughed. It was just a good movie. So I highly recommend Prom. And another film with mainly queer characters, or based off queer characters, because it's based about a bunch of Hollywood elitists helping a young girl go to her prom because she was banned for being gay, and they didn't want her to bring her girlfriend to the prom or whatever. But it was a good story. It was very funny. There were some predictable moments. Like, you could see, if you've seen stories like this or musicals like this, you kind of see how the plot is going to go before it happens, but it still didn't take away the enjoyment and the fun and the laughs and the jokes. So I highly recommend Prom on Netflix. You can watch it right now if you have Netflix. Next one is another Netflix original, and that is Yes God Yes. It is a coming of age comedy, dramedy, whatever, about a young girl coming into her sexuality, but she's super religious, and she comes into her sexuality, and she comes into grips with, you know, her freaky side at a church camp. And if you've grown up religious, if you've grown up going to the summer church camps or Bible study or VBS, and you were in the middle school, high school, college age, you know how real this fucking film is when it comes to, you know, discovering who you are while being somewhere that represses who you are. You know what I'm saying? And not just queer, but even straights have to go through that. Like, you liking, you know, your girl, you liking a boy, and y'all want to go off and make out and stuff, but you're at queer camp, you got Bible study at a certain time, you don't want to get caught by the adults, you know. Just, it was just funny. It was a great comedy, and it blends the comedy and the drama well. When it got suspenseful, you know, you was like, oh, I hope she don't get caught. And then and you know, the drama aspects, it kind of melted and meshed well with the laughs. And it was a good fun story, good coming of age story, and I fairly enjoy it. So it's called Yes God Yes. And lastly, number 16 is Wonder Woman 1984. This film is very divisive right now, and it just came out Christmas Day. You know, a lot of the DC fanboys and even some critics are hating on it, bashing on it, but I enjoyed it. It was fun, and I make no apologies about that. It was a good film. It's not as good as the first one. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you or myself. It has its flaws, but I still enjoy it, and I'll watch it again. Like, no problem. It's some of the best DCEU films, because if you watch my review, I trash DCEU. That whole conglomerate, I just trash it. I do not like anything Snyder related, really. And I like that Patty Jenkins is like doing her own thing. So this film isn't really connected to the DCEU, except, you know, the fact that, you know, you're going to see Diana link up with everybody else on Justice League. But you can watch these films, these Wonder Woman films, the first one and the second one, and not watch anything else in the DCEU. And I like that, and I enjoy that, because the DCEU is trash. Hate me all you want, but that's my opinion. Anyways, those are my honorable mentions. They were good. I enjoyed them, but they just did not crack that top 10 spot. If you haven't seen my top 10, link in the description or at the end of this film, at the end of this video. Go watch it. I think you'll like it. Or you might not like it, because if you disagree with my honorable mentions, you might disagree with my top 10. Who knows? But comment below, let me know, what were your favorite films of 2020? Do you enjoy anything on my list, or do you enjoy other things? And maybe there's a film that I didn't even mention that you should probably recommend to me, because so much stuff came out, so much content came out, not just in film but in TV, and I just couldn't keep up with it all. I know for a fact I missed a lot of shit because I just couldn't keep up with it. Like, I still haven't watched The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. I know, controversy, everybody has seen it but my ass, but I'm just trying to keep up. It's hard to keep up, so much stuff has come out, but I'm gonna get to that as well. But anyways, comment below, let me know, like, comment, subscribe, and I will check y'all out in the next video. Peace.